Hello and welcome to One on One. I'm Vernon. My guest today is Karina Jardine-Scott, who is the chairperson of KIND, Kids in Need of Direction. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Vernon.
I can't believe I haven't had you on before, actually.
Me neither.
But anyhow, better late than never. Nice to have you on. Let's
you.
talk about KIND and the mandate of KIND. You're the founder as well, so if anybody can
Yes.
talk about it, it will be you.
That's right.
Off you go.
Well, KIND is my baby, really and truly. We started 13 years ago, my husband and I, after a lengthy visit to India. And we saw, driving along the roads of India on a 5-hour trek, really, from Mysore, heading south. And there were thousands of people all along the way on the road, children, parents, living under blue tarpaulin. And that was the inspiration. When we came back to Trinidad, we had been exposed to some very poor families living in the east, in San Fernando, Chaguanas, Carenage, down west as well. And we decided to get involved with some friends and do some charity work. We just didn't think, though, we would have really developed into an educational center and have programs being run. At that time, we were really just helping some kids living in, different homes throughout Trinidad.
And how did it evolve into all that then?
I don't
Just
know.
naturally, or?
Somebody twisted our arm, I guess. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it didn't take much twisting.
Just teasing, actually. It evolved really and truly. We got a wonderful board of directors together, and we began supporting some of the homes in helping the children remain in school. That was really the objective. And it kind of grew from there. We began working more seriously with the homes. We realized that, wait a minute, this is really what we're good at. We're able to get funding together to help kids remain in school. We were offered an office, a very small office in Laventille by Safetex building, and we stayed there for about 5 years. And then we got an opportunity to buy our own building, which we did. We bought our own building in Laventille. It's at the corner of Pagely Street and the Eastern Main Road. And we opened the center from there, and we just grew into, we have now been able to help just over 800 children throughout the years working at the center. And we now operate a full integrated literacy program at the center. The program is a combination of literacy and reading, helping kids who are in the present school system. They're referred to us from other schools in the area, as well as through Serval's program. And they come to us to sort of attain a better reading level, to become fully literate, so they can be reintegrated either into the Serval program or into the present school curriculum.
Are these troubled kids, or just kids who haven't had the
Yeah,
advantages they should have?
Well, both. They're both. Some are troubled, some are abused kids who have been through serious abuse, and some kids just come from poor backgrounds, really, and they have both parents or guardians who love them terribly. I mean, they have wonderful relationships with their families, but they're just poor, and they don't have the opportunities. So yes, we help both types, and that's through that program at the center. But we also have a Sponsor a Child to Learn program, which is an outreach program, and basically it helps kids stay in school. We finance the families who poverty-stricken, who cannot commit to the financial woes of the educational system, that is transport, school uniforms, books, etc. And we assist those families, keeping the kids within their family unit, and they can remain in school.
But as a citizen of this country, doesn't that bother you that we have kids in that situation where they don't have the
Absolutely.
money to even complete their education?
Well, it's very sad.
Especially in a wealthy country.
Exactly. It's very sad that we even have children, or we even have families living below the poverty line, as well as it's very sad to have families who the children don't even have their parents. They're living with their grandparents because their parents have either broken up and one parent has gone to live in the United States and have left the kids behind with the mum, the grandparent, or the grandfather. Normally, it's the grandmother or an aunt, a sibling of the parent who's looking after the children. And many of these families have 12 and 14 members living together in a 2-bedroom dwelling, a 2-bedroom wooden house somewhere. It's very sad that Trinidad can still, in 2009, have families living in that situation, as well as have families with either no electricity or no water.
I mean, we should be able to break that cycle, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Because poverty, I mean, you mentioned it leads to a great number of disadvantages. Quite often kids are malnourished, they can't learn as well. Because of crowding, you end up in awkward situations, often sexual. Sometimes that will cause major trauma in the child. And so the kids end up growing up, as you mentioned, no direction,
Yes.
falling back into the same patterns they know, and abusing their spouses or getting into a life of crime, things like that. So you really have, as a society, to break the cycle, don't you?
Well, we try. We try. Within our work, the parameters of our work, we have to be very careful how we deal with children. Hence, we have to get help from the psychologists. We hire psychologists to assess kids. We have a student counselor. We have a social worker at Kind. So our expenses, the more kids we take on, grows. At the moment, it costs Kind just about $70,000 a month to run Kind. That's just over $800,000 a year. So we have to constantly be finding ways to raise funds to get support. However, we do see positive results from the work that we're doing. We have right now presently one of our students who we were able to help some 5 years ago. She's in the University of the West Indies doing a business degree. We have a graduate in telecommunications who was one of the students that we helped. She came into us about 6 years ago, and she's now graduated and is working. So we have, the results are evident.
Is that where you get the joy out of doing this?
We get the joy out of, definitely get the joy out of doing it when we get positive results like this. But we also have other results that may not be as grand as a university degree. When a child comes into you and is in class, and you give them to write their name, and if their name is Shane, and they spell their name S, and they don't know what next to write, how can a 12-year-old not know how to spell their own name? It's very difficult to see that. And then after one term, that child might win valedictorian and pulls out that speech in front of the graduating class and reads the whole speech. To me, that is an amazing achievement. And I get very emotional whenever I am in the graduating class and I see this, because I know how hard our staff has worked to ensure that that child is leaving Kind with the necessary tools to be able to be reintegrated into the normal school system or to be reintegrated into Serval's program, because you're giving them a chance of survival. They have to break the cycle and come out of the area that they have come from with a different level. First of all, self-esteem has to be attained, high self-esteem. They have to come out knowing that I can read with positive thinking mind and knowing that I like to learn. What can I do to change my cycle? What can I do to get better at what I do so I can earn a generous or at least an average income that I can look after myself?